Hello, third graders. Welcome back. This is Dr. Davis here, ready to begin another lesson on the human body. Let's get started. So let's review some of the things that we've already talked about as we've learned about the human body. So first of all, we know that there are two types of bones, axial bones and appendicular bones. We also know that axial bones include skull, ribs, and spine. Appendicular bones are the arms and legs. Remember that word, appendages. Where two bones meet is called a joint, and we've got lots of joints all through our body because remember, all those bones, they come together and meet somewhere. Also, there are three different types of joints: movable, immovable, and partially movable. Remember, movable means, yes, they can move. Immovable means, no, they cannot move. And partially movable means they can move some, a little. We also learned that cartilage and ligaments are important to the skeletal system. And what's the purpose of the cartilage and ligaments? Cartilage protects your bones from rubbing together. Remember, cartilage is between a lot of your bones. And ligaments are connective tissue that act like straps, wrapping around the joints to actually hold your bones together. Remember at the beginning of the last lesson, I asked, are our bones glued together? Of course not. So now we know that we need both cartilage and ligaments to help our bones to stay together in the joints and also to help protect them. So we're ready for lesson 4. So our purpose for listening today, I want you to listen very carefully to learn, first of all, details about the muscular system. Also listen carefully to learn how the muscular system is interconnected, that's that word again, with other body systems. And listen carefully to learn about different types of muscles in the human body. Here's our friend Ricardo again. Let's get started, everyone. Hi, guys. It's me, Ricardo. Last time we were together, I told you that our next discussion would be about a system that works extremely well with your skeletal system. Did any of you predict the name of the system we're going to talk about today? If you predicted the muscular system, you're correct. You've learned how the bones in the skeletal system are connected from head to toe. Bones form the important framework of your body, but they could not move without the help of your muscles. So, what are muscles? The word muscle comes from the Latin word musculus. Muscles are made up of bundles of long, thin cells. They are controlled by signals that come from your brain and your spinal cord, which carry messages through nerves to every part of your body. Muscles receive these messages telling them when to contract or tighten, how to contract, and for how long. When muscles contract, they squeeze together, shortening and causing movement. Muscles are at work in your body all of the time, even when you're sleeping. You have more than, get this, 650 muscles in your body, making up between 1/3 and half of your body weight. Now, there are 3 types of muscles in your body, but most of them are skeletal muscles. Your skeletal muscles work closely with your bones to give them mobility or motion. Just as there are axial bones and appendicular bones, there are axial muscles and appendicular muscles. Which muscles do you think are axial? What do you think? Right, the ones in your head, your neck, and your torso. And where are the appendicular muscles located? Yes, in your arms and your legs. Most muscles work in pairs. Muscles only pull on bone. They cannot push. As your muscles pull on bone, they contract or they get shorter. In order to relax or lengthen, muscles need a partner to pull the bone in the opposite direction. Paired muscles never pull at the same time. One pulls, the other relaxes. One relaxes, the other pulls. Look at this picture of the muscles in your upper arm. It shows what happens when you make a fist and bend your arm. Can you do that? Make a fist and bend your arm. The bicep muscle contracts and bends your elbow while your tricep muscle relaxes. When you straighten your arm out once again, your tricep muscle contracts and your bicep muscle relaxes. By working in pairs, taking turns pulling on your bones, skeletal muscles enable you to ride a bike, play a guitar, climb a mountain, and many other things. Skeletal muscles come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, fat and skinny and long and circular. Because you control your skeletal muscles, deciding when and how you want to move your bones, they are called voluntary muscles. The movement does not happen automatically. You make a conscious decision to move the muscles attached to your bones. Narrow, rope-like tissues called tendons attach bones to muscles. You can see the tendons under your skin if you flex your arm back and forth. Try it. Bend your elbow as if you wanted to show off your muscles. Come on, let me see you make muscles out there. And feel the tendon just under the skin inside your elbow. What are other good places to view your tendons in action? If you have a friend or a family member nearby, try looking at your friend or your family member's their neck. Can you find the tendons as that person turns his or her head? Can you find them? Also, can you find tendons in your arms or your legs? The muscles in your legs are the largest and strongest skeletal muscles in your body. One of these muscles is called your calf muscle. See if you can feel your calf muscle at the back of your lower leg. So you can feel right below the back of your knee. There's a muscle there. Your calf muscle is responsible for much of your movement, helping to bend your knee when you walk or run. It is attached to your heel bone by the largest and most powerful tendon in your body, the Achilles tendon. If your Achilles tendon is cut or torn, the use of the leg for jumping and running is lost immediately until it heals. An ancient Greek legend has long been told about the Achilles tendon as a figurative phrase to indicate our weak spots, places where we feel most likely to be hurt, either physically or emotionally. The myth goes something like this. Long ago in ancient Greece, a baby was born. According to custom, his mother held him by the heel and dipped his body into the river Styx. It was thought that the waters of this powerful river could make a person invincible, unable to be defeated in battle. Achilles grew up to be a warrior, and indeed the river's power seemed to protect him from injury throughout many battles. However, there was one spot on his body that the waters had not touched. That spot was where his mother had held him, the Achilles heel. He was finally killed when an arrow pierced his heel, his one vulnerable spot. From then on, people have referred to their own area of weaknesses as their Achilles heel. Poor Achilles. It's a shame he wasn't wearing some armored footwear. Oh well, it's only a myth. Let's move on and learn about the other types of muscles in your body. In addition to skeletal muscle, there is smooth muscle and cardiac muscle. Are you ready for another riddle? Listen carefully. I am a muscle. Like music, I have a rhythm and a beat. I am protected by the rib cage, What am I? Are you thinking out there? Does anyone know what type of muscle is contained in your heart, smooth or cardiac? Your thick, powerful heart is made of cardiac muscle, the strongest muscle in your body, found only in your heart. Unlike skeletal muscle, healthy cardiac muscle never tires. It is continually contracting and relaxing, rhythmically pumping blood around your body all day and all night. Cardiac muscle is an involuntary muscle, meaning that you do not control its movement. Your brain controls how fast your heart beats without you even thinking about it. Why do you think that this is important? What would happen if the heart was not involuntary and you had to tell it to beat? What if you got tired and you forgot? Yes, that means that muscle would stop beating. And your brain, of course, is sending the message. What if you had to tell the brain to send the message to your heart? Right. So it's very important that we understand that the brain and the heart are involuntary muscles because that helps our body to keep functioning like it should. Smooth muscle is the third type of muscle in your body. It is also involuntary muscle because you cannot consciously move smooth muscle. It contracts exactly like skeletal muscles do, only much more slowly. Lining the walls of internal organs and blood vessels, smooth muscle uses less energy than skeletal muscles. It squeezes and tightens, mixing and churning food in the stomach. Have you ever felt your stomach moving? Yes, that works involuntarily. It lines your lungs and blood vessels too. The next time we meet, we'll talk about the system that controls all of your other body systems. This system controls both voluntary and involuntary muscles in your body and much more. Can you guess what we will learn about the next time? There's a clue there. I'll see you next time and we'll see if you guessed correctly. Okay, now let's look at the comprehension question for our lesson today. Why is the muscular system important to the human body? Why is the muscular system important to the human body? I want you to think about that for a moment. Get an answer in your head. Now let's see. It helps the body move and do other things that we can't see, like the stomach and intestines digesting food and the heart pumping blood. It is the framework of the human body together with the skeletal system. So we need the muscles to work along with our skeleton, okay? Because remember, the skeleton gives us our shape so that we're not flopping over. But the muscles actually help those bones to be able to move. Also, the muscles, like the ones they talked about inside with your digestive system, and we'll learn about that one later, but your muscles are always moving, okay? And they're always working. So the muscular system is very important. Number 2, when muscles contract, what do they do? Get that answer in your head. What does that mean when muscles contract? What do they do when they're contracting? And the answer is they squeeze together, shortening and causing movement. Number 3, what are the different types of muscles in the body? We've talked about 2 different categories of muscles. So let's look at them. The different types of muscles are skeletal, cardiac, smooth, and then those muscles are either voluntary or involuntary, okay? The skeletal muscles are voluntary. You decide when you want to lift your arms and move your head. You decide when those skeletal muscles are going to move. But the cardiac and the smooth muscles, they're involuntary. Remember, cardiac is your heart. The smooth muscles, the example was the lining of your stomach and your blood vessels. We don't decide when our stomach is going to work. It is always churning and moving. So that's involuntary. How do the skeletal muscles work closely with the skeleton to help us move? Oh, friends, get that answer in your head. So think about both of those systems, the muscles and the skeleton. How do they work together? Let's read this. Skeletal muscles are attached to the bones in the skeleton, the body's framework. Skeletal muscles are voluntary, so when we make the decision to move, it is the skeletal muscles that helps the skeleton to move. Okay? So the muscles have to help the skeleton. Great job. And now it is time for a brain break. So we've talked about voluntary and involuntary muscles. Did you know that you have muscles in your face? And we can decide how we're going to use those muscles in our face. So this is our emoji muscle time, okay? So I am going to give you a description, and that is the emoji that I want you to make. For example, if I said make a silly emoji or a silly face, what would that look like? Good job. How about make a glad face? Yes, great. How about a pucker face? Do you know what pucker means? Yes, your lips. Pucker your lips, or a kissing face. Yes. Let's do another one. A startled face. What does that word startled mean? Yes, it means when someone scares you. So show me your startled emoji. Yes, good. Let's do a couple more. Puzzled. Now, what does that word mean? Puzzled is like confused. Show me your puzzled emoji. Good job. And our last one, your excited emoji. Great job. All right, everyone, let's get back to work. Our word work for today is voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. In the read aloud, you heard, because you control your skeletal muscles, deciding when and how you want to move your bones, they are called voluntary muscles. You also heard cardiac muscle is an involuntary muscle, meaning that you do not control its movement. Say the words with me. Voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles. Voluntary muscles are those that can be controlled with someone's own choice. Involuntary muscles are those that are not controlled by someone's choice. For example, when I eat food and I use my hand to feed myself, that is an example of a voluntary muscle. When my food goes into my stomach to digest, my stomach is churning and contracting. That's an example of involuntary muscle. Now, let's look at that word involuntary muscle, and specifically, let's look at the prefix in, which means the opposite of. For example, we've got voluntary, which means we're doing something on purpose. We're making a decision to do it. Involuntary means I am not making a decision to do it. It's happening automatically. So let's look at these words: visible, accurate, complete, ability, and adequate. We're going to add the prefix in to each of those words. So for example, we have the word visible, which means to be seen. So if we add in to visible, what is the new word? Yes, invisible, which means it can't be seen. Accurate. Accurate means something is correct. If we add in to accurate, what's our new word? Yes, inaccurate, which means it's not correct. We have complete. Complete means it's finished, it's done. And if we add in to complete, it is now incomplete, which means it's not finished. Very good. Ability, which means you can do something. You're able to do something. And if we add in to ability, it becomes, it's a little bit difficult to say, inability. Yes, which means you can't do it or it cannot be done. And then we have adequate. What does that word mean? Adequate means it's enough. It's just fine. It's sufficient. So adequate, and we add in to adequate, and the word becomes inadequate. So inadequate means it's not enough and it's not sufficient. So today we talked about the prefix in on the word involuntary. So let's read our words. We have invisible, inaccurate, incomplete, inability, and inadequate. So today you have learned about the muscular system and how it works together with the skeletal system. Great job, and I can't wait to see you the next time. Goodbye.